Happy, happy Halloween, Halloween, Halloween. Happy, happy Halloween, Silver Shamrock. Happy, happy Halloween, Halloween, Halloween. Happy, happy Halloween, Silver Shamrock.
Hey guys, happy Halloween! It is finally here, and sadly, Halloween to me, as soon as it comes, it almost feels like it's going too fast. I mean, it's already halfway through the day, so I gotta get on this stuff. But I just figured I'd do a last video for my horror month marathon, kind of to summarize the whole thing. I wanted to kind of share a couple thoughts I had about a few of the things I watched, and I just put these guys out. I got my Evolution of Evil and Sam out here, and then my Universal horror figures, which hopefully by the end of today I will have a complete set. I actually had to send my mom out to find a Bride of Frankenstein, because up here in Jax they are all sold out, so she's hunting one down for me today. But yeah, I just finished watching Halloween Resurrection. Not sure what I'm gonna do. Yeah, I gotta stop this before the Creed starts playing. Blah. Not Resurrection. Halloween H2O. I didn't want to torture myself that much. Halloween is my movie for the night. It's the last movie in my horror marathon. But I think I'd play maybe one or two other movies in the series today. I actually kind of want to see what's on TV. So yeah, there's good stuff on. Yeah, getting into the horror marathon. Now, most of these movies I posted at least an announcement of what I was watching, if not my complete thoughts, on Twitter and my personal Facebook. And I did manage to actually watch all, well, so far at this point, all 30 movies. I see no reason why I won't watch Halloween tonight. I am totally excited to watch it tonight, so, you know, I don't think I'll call myself a liar by saying that I'll have watched all the movies this month, all 31 of them, along with quite a few other things, if I'm honest. A couple I wanted to talk about. The thing I found most interesting, the day at least, was the Silent Tuesdays that I did. Mostly for the fact that, you know, I'm a person who's pretty tolerant of really old movie pacing. But I just didn't feel like the silent films did anything for me. Phantom of the Opera was the cream of the crop. It was very well done, well acted. It deserves its classic status. I truly feel it was a great movie. Like Nosferatu that I watched last year. It's really a silent movie worth watching for a horror fan. But it kind of went downhill from there. Cabinet of Dr. Caligari, a movie I'd heard about forever. It's been recommended to me by many people. I don't know, maybe it's just looking back on it with modern eyes. It's just not all that great. It was kind of hard to follow. There weren't enough title screens telling you what people were saying. I kind of had a hard time reading into what was going on. And the whole world was very Dr. Seuss looking. I know it was supposed to be that German expressionistic style. It just didn't work for me. So I'm a little disappointed on that front with that movie. I'm going to try watching it again. I think it's worth another shot. Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. I watched the 1920s silent version of that. It was fine. It was just fine. There was nothing fantastic about it. It was just decent. I want to watch the sound version of it that came out, I think, in the 30s. That's supposed to be pretty cool. And Faust, which was the last one on the list, had some great visuals, but the main part of the story really dragged for me, and I felt like if I saw a tighter edit of the movie, I would have enjoyed it more. The beginning and end I thought were really good. The middle really dragged for me. Some other thoughts on things I hadn't seen before. Night of the Demons was a lot of fun. I'm excited to revisit that movie in the future. 28 Days Later surprised me. I put it on my zombie day because I thought it was a zombie movie. It's not really. I was kind of taken off guard by that. Attack of the Killer Tomatoes, another one I hadn't watched, one I wanted to watch. I really enjoyed it. I normally don't care for parody movies. I think they did a good job with that one. I was really surprised how much I didn't mind it. Sleepy Hollow. I said it on Twitter and Facebook before I watched it. I'm not really a Burton Depp fan. And I had my same thought I have about a lot of Tim Burton, Johnny Depp movies. Meh. Just nothing great. Zombie was an interesting one, or Zombie 2, depending on what you want to call it. I'd like to see it again. I heard they just remastered it. I'd like to give it another watch. I'm not really sure how I felt about it. I thought it was a little weirdly paced, but I think knowing the story now would be more interesting to watch again. I should have taken the opportunity. There's a theater down here called the Five Points Theater. It's an old historic theater, and they actually played it. That was a Thursday that I watched it. The next day, Friday, they were actually playing it, and I didn't go down and watch it, but I think I should have now. Freaks. If you haven't seen Freaks, I think it's worth a watch. It's a really strange movie. The premise basically follows, sideshow, what they would call freaks back in the 1920s or 30s. Basically disfigured people and strange, oddities and stuff. But the direction on it was awesome. It was done by the creator of the original Dracula, or the 1931 Dracula movie. And it's really well done. Basically how he portrayed these sideshow oddities to be more human and normal than the, physically normal people around them. It had some really good parts of it. It's not really much of a horror movie, but it was very interesting. The last one I wanted to talk about was the last new one on the list, which was High Tension. And I hated that movie. I really didn't like it. I'd heard good things about it, and I was really surprised after watching it how bad it was and how stupid it was. All that being done, the movie marathon I really enjoyed this year. I think I made some good choices. I think if I do it again next year, I might try to do movies by decade, because I broke it down almost when I was done with watching them. And most of the movies, about a third of the movies I picked were from this last decade, which really struck me as odd, seeing that I had Silent Film Day and Old School Horror Day. But most of it was from the 2000s. But I'm thinking next year maybe I will do a breakdown and have, there's one day a week reserved for the 2000s and a day a week for the 80s. Certain decades I'm not sure if I'm going to keep by themselves. Obviously, only 7 days in a week. But I might mix the 20s and 30s together, since silent films weren't that big of a hit with me this year. Maybe the 50s and 60s I could put together. But I think that would be an interesting thing for next year. So more or less I'm putting it in this video. So if I look at this again next year, I can remind myself of the idea. I am working on a Madman Mars commission, 7-inch figure. I actually don't have anything to show right now because I decided to, much like most horror movie creatures, reboot it. I wasn't too happy with what I gotten done so far, so I kind of took them back down to scratch. So there's nothing to show right now, but within the next week or two, I should be getting some good updates out on him. So stay tuned and look forward to that coming up. But that's about it for my rant. It's probably gone on way longer than I wanted it to. If you want, you guys leave comments below. Let me know what you're doing today. Got any good plans? My plans kind of fell through, so just watching more movies today. But everyone have a fun and safe Halloween. It is the most awesome holiday of the year in my opinion. And I'll see you back here soon with a commission update. Later.